Right, so let's talk about the Eternals, because I'm in a weird position where I liked the movie. I liked that movie. Not massively. I don't think it's the best thing the MCU has ever done, but I think it's a nice, different path to go down. But I'm fully aware that there's a lot of people that turn off by it, and I'm fully aware that there's a lot of people that are like, this isn't a Marvel movie, or this is playing it too safe as a Marvel movie. It's not going far enough. I disagree with that notion entirely. I think it went perfectly far. I think it went as far as it needed to. But I'm fully aware that there's a lot of people that, didn't like Eternals for either good reason or for not good reason, or for a reason that's not good enough for me to make a decent argument for it. But the Eternals, Kieron Gillan's Eternals run just wrapped up last week. I'm behind on comics, so I only read the final issue yesterday, but I liked it. I loved it. I love the entire run. Kieron Gillan is a master worker when it comes to team books. I haven't read that much Kieron Gillan stuff in general. I think Eternals is probably the first thing and probably the only thing that I've read all the way through. And the reason why I want to do a video about it is because for the people that watched the movie and thought this isn't for me, I think that this book is what you're looking for, because it is, yes, it's deeply rooted within the Marvel universe, but you don't need any prior knowledge towards the Eternals. Yes, it does lead towards an event, but I don't think you need to necessarily read the event that this is leading into to get everything from here. And you've got the link in with Thanos, and Thanos is written masterfully, as Kieron Gillan writes every character amazingly. The Eternals themselves, there's not really a main character. The main character is probably the Machine, because that's the one that's doing all of the narration, and after that it's probably Thanos. He probably gets the most amount of character, and then probably Druig. Druig gets a lot. Yeah, it's mainly like, the relationship between Druig and Thanos in this book is very similar to the relationship between Mr. Sinister and Apocalypse, and whenever them two appear together. But yeah, I just think this is the perfect Eternals book. Obviously the Gaiman run is great as well, but this is more recent. Asad Ribic's doing art, which is much more digestible, I think, than Romita Jr. And it's also a current run. The Gaiman run, it's situated in a weird place where it's like in the midst of Civil War, or it's just after Civil War. The Registration Act is still a thing, so that's still heavily referenced in that book. But this is something that's a lot more simpler, a lot more easy to digest, and it's Thanos is the big bad, and everyone knows Thanos, everyone likes Thanos, and he's a much better big bad than whoever it was in the fucking movie. But yeah, I don't want to go into the plot itself, or like too much about what goes on in this book, because I want you guys to read it for yourself. But honestly, I think Eternals is one of the best books Marvel has coming out, or had coming out, because it's finished now. But now that it is finished, I think if this does get collected up in a trade, read it. Just go out and buy it, because we need more Eternals books like this. Because Eternals is the kind of book, it's the kind of thing that whenever it comes out, it's good, but it's never out to stay. It's not like an Iron Man. It's not even Iron Man. Iron Man's a book that doesn't even stay out for very long. I'm very surprised that Christopher Cantwell has been able to make this Iron Man story that's lasted freaking 19 issues, and it's been practically the same, from issue 1 to issue 19 has been practically the same arc. It's all dealing with Korvac. So the fact that that is a thing, and the fact that that suit that's in that run is getting action figures, getting everything, that's awesome. I want to see a comic book accurate action figures for the Eternals, because their costumes are friggin' amazing, and you know they're becoming more prevalent, and I feel like this is the run to jump into and to read, to not only understand what's going to happen in Judgment Day, because that's going to be a big thing that's going to involve all of the players in the Marvel Universe, and you know it's the next big event that's going to shape where the Marvel Universe is going. And you know, apparently Mary Jane's being taken over by Moira McTaggart. I talked about that in the last issue. It was a free comic book day reveal. I don't know what I feel about the one thing that I will say is that the big reveal at the end is massive, and I don't think it. Obviously it matters because it's going to be a big thing to do with Judgment Day, but I don't think it's going to matter as much as people really would make it out to believe. I think it's genius to tie the Eternals in with, you know, the big players of the MCU, because obviously the Avengers are holed up in basically an Eternal's dead body. They're using the dead body of an Eternal as their base of operation at the moment, and that actually plays into a really big part of the story, where it is like the entire like second half is the Eternals getting revenge on the Avengers for using the dead body of their god and basically desecrating their god, and then finding out that, oh yeah, our gods don't care about us. They actually wanted the deviants to be the important ones. We're just gardeners. We're just groundskeepers, keeping them in line, keeping them in check. We're not important at all. And that's probably going to be a big thing going into Judgment Day, and will probably be a big thing in the climax of Judgment Day, and will probably be the reason why the Eternals don't end up killing all of the X-Men, because there is no way, if you look at the power level of the Eternals and the power level of everyone else that are going to be a player in Judgment Day, you know, the Eternals are the only ones that leave that book, that will leave that book alive, you know, because, like, Icarus versus Captain America, that's not even a fucking contest, you know, and Hulk's in space at the moment, so what are you going to do about that? But I just really like books like this when they come out, and I love it when a book is celebrating like underutilized characters. Like, I love books like this, the Iron Fist book that's coming out at the moment. I've only read the first issue, but it seems really fun, and that's what a book like this is. It's fun. It has fun with the concept. It's a really fun idea. Anyways, that's it for me. If you guys have read Eternals already, let me know in the comments below what you think of it. If you haven't, go read it. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.